Good morning. I hereby call to order this 15th and final meeting of the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission for the year 2023. Welcome to everyone here with us and who are watching on the live stream. We ask you to please stand now for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At today's meeting, which is open to the public, the Commission will act on various matters. There is no opportunity for the public to address the Commission at this public meeting. The public meeting motions, statements, and video will be available on the Commission's website later today. We do have Vice Chair Barrow joining us via audio. Vice Chair Barrow, are you present?
Present.
Thank you. The first matter on this morning's agenda are the minutes of the meeting of November 9th, 2023. I would like to recognize Commissioner Yanora as the editor of the minutes. Commissioner Yanora.
Chairman, I've reviewed the minutes of the November 9th, 2023 public meeting and move that they be approved as submitted. Thank you.
You've heard a motion by Commissioner Yanora. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Zerfas. Any discussion? Is there any objection to approval of the minutes? Hearing none, minutes are approved by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary, we are ready for your presentation.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, Commissioners. Your various bureaus and offices have prepared the following agenda items for your consideration. Therefore, let us begin on page 1 with matters presented by Director Monahan and the Bureau of Audits. It is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion both items on page 1, beginning with the audit report and default service support rider of the Metropolitan Edison Company and continuing the omnibus to include the first 2 items on page 2, ending the omnibus with the audit report and default service rider of the West Penn Power Company.
Is there a motion to approve the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Coleman, seconded by Commissioner Yanora. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Continuing on page 2, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the Management and Operations Audit Report and Implementation Plan of the Pennsylvania American Water Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the audit report?
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfas, seconded by Commissioner Yanora. Any discussion?
Chairman, I do have a motion.
Vice Chair Barrow.
Please enter this motion into the record as though I read it in its entirety. This is the Management and Operations Audit of Pennsylvania American. Our audit staff made 31 recommendations, and this motion deals with the company's affiliated interest agreement. Pennsylvania American accepted in part audit's recommendations that the company file a new affiliated interest agreement that accurately reflects the current company structure and the transactions that occur between PA American and American Waterworks Service Company. Audits noted that it believes that Pennsylvania American's affiliated interest agreement on file with the Commission has deficiencies and is a bit too generic in nature. Audits also noted that a lot of changes have occurred within the company since the agreement was filed in 1989, and that the agreement does need an update. Audits has been making this recommendation since the 2008 consultant-led management audit. And the company has stated it doesn't agree that the AIA needs to be updated, and that what it will do instead is just provide an addendum, an updated list of existing services. I acknowledge the company's provision of that addendum, but because this matter continues to be an issue in the current and prior management audits, I believe that the matter should be referred to the Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement for any further action as deemed warranted by that Bureau. Therefore, I move that the Bureau of Audit's Management and Operations Audit Report of the Pennsylvania American Water Company and Pennsylvania American Water Company's implementation plan be made public. 2, that the recommendation in the report for Pennsylvania American Water Company to file a new or amended affiliated interest agreement that accurately reflects the current company structure and the intercompany transactions occurring between Pennsylvania American Water Company and American Water Works Service Company, Incorporated, be referred to the Commission's Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement for any further action as deemed warranted based on the Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement's review. 3, a secretarial letter be issued directing Pennsylvania American Water Company to proceed with its implementation plan regarding all other aspects of the plan and submit progress reports on the implementation plan annually by December 1st for the next 3 years. And finally, that the Office of Special Assistants draft an opinion and order consistent with this motion. Thank you.
We've heard the motion by Vice Chair Barrow. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Zerfus. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. On the matter as amended by the motion, is there any objection to taking the previous roll call? Hearing none, the matter passes as amended by the motion by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 3, and matters presented by the Bureau of Consumer Services, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed order in the petition filed by the National Fuel Gas Distribution Corporation to amend its Universal Service and Energy Conservation Plan.
Is there a motion to adopt the proposed order?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Yenora. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 4, it is recommended by Executive Director Barrier and the Office of Executive Director that the Commission adopt the proposed order appointing William Kukurin, Thomas C. Sarasso, and Douglas L. Haupt to fill 3 vacancies on the Damage Prevention Committee.
Is there a motion to adopt the proposed order?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Coleman, seconded by Commissioner Yenora. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 5, and matters presented by Director Hafner and the Office of Special Assistants, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order in the formal complaints filed by the Office of Consumer Advocate versus Hidden Valley Utility Services, LP.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Continuing on page 5, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order in the formal complaint of Ethan Habrel versus the Metropolitan Edison Company.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Yenora. Any discussion? I do have a conflict statement I'd like to be entered into the record. Before joining my staff as legal counsel, Joel Cheskis was employed in the Commission's Office of Administrative Law Judge and worked on this case. Please note, he has not advised me in this matter. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 6, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order in the formal complaint of Dawn Graham versus the Philadelphia Gas Works.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? I do have another conflict statement in this matter I'd like to enter into the record. Before joining my staff as legal counsel, Joel Cheskis was employed in the Commission's Office of Administrative Law Judge and worked on this case. Please note, he has not advised me in this matter. This has been a light agenda for Joel. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Continuing on page 6, it is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion the remaining item on page 6, the formal complaint of Laura and Charles Johnson versus the Duquesne Light Company, and continue and end the omnibus with the first item at the top of page 7, the formal complaint of Cletus Sabrone Abate versus the Duquesne Light Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Coleman, seconded by Commissioner Yenora. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Zerfus.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to be recorded as concur and result only on the item on the top of page 7, the Cletus Sabrone Abate case, please.
Duly noted. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0, noting Commissioner Zerfus is concurring and result only in the matter of Cletus Sabrone Abate versus Duquesne Light Company. Madam Secretary.
Continuing on page 7, it is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion the formal complaint of Monique Washington versus the Pico Energy Company and continue the omnibus to include both items on page 8, both items on page 9, both items on page 10, and both items on page 11, ending the omnibus with the formal complaint of Bernard McKenzie versus the Pennsylvania Electric Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Vice Chair Barrow. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no.
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 The ayes have it by a vote of 3-2, noting the dissents of Commissioners Coleman and Yenora. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 12, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the order and opinion in the application of Expert Limousine Services, LLC.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Yenora, seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
It should be noted that the second item on page 12, the request and petition filed by UGI Utilities Electric Division, has been withdrawn by the Office of Special Assistance. Turning to page 13, it should also be noted that the petition for reconsideration of staff action filed by Emerald Bioenergy LLC has been withdrawn by the Office of Special Assistance. Mr. Chairman, turning to page 14 now, and matters presented by Director Diskin and the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, it is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion both items on page 14, beginning with the petition filed by the City of Lancaster Water Bureau and continuing the omnibus to include both items on page 15, both items on page 16, both items on page 17, and including and ending the omnibus at the top of page 18 with the application of Frontier Energy Consultants, LLC.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Yenora. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Continuing at the bottom of page 18, it is recommended that the commission adopt in an omnibus motion the proposed order suspending the rate increase proposal of the Pennsylvania American Water Company and continuing the omnibus at the top of page 19 to include and end with the rate increase proposal of the Pennsylvania American Water Company Wastewater Division.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Unora, seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? I do have a statement with Commissioner Unora. We ask that our statement be entered into the record as though we have read it in its entirety. The statement is on both matters. Before the Commission are the general rate increase filings of the Pennsylvania American Water Company for its water and wastewater operations. The company proposes increases in annual revenues of $199.2 million, or 24.2% for the water operations, and $4.7 million, or 2.5% for the wastewater operations. Formal complaints were filed in both dockets, and as such, these proposed orders would suspend both tariffs for further investigation and send the proceedings to the Office of Administrative Law Judge for hearings as appropriate. We support such action. Numerous factors contribute to water and wastewater rates, including environmental compliance, infrastructure replacement, operational expenses, acquisitions, cost of debt, rate case filing cadence, and rate design elements such as the cross-subsidization of water and wastewater rates permitted under Section 1311C of the Public Utility Code. We acknowledge that some factors are outside the scope of water utility management. However, we take this opportunity to focus on factors within a utility's control. The company is seeking an overall annual revenue increase of $204 million among both operational divisions and proposes that $71.09 million, or approximately 34% of that overall increase, be reallocated from wastewater to water customers. Active participants in this proceeding should focus on Pennsylvania American Water's proposed use of Act 11 reallocation. We find this particularly important when reviewing the proposal through the lens of affordability. It is incumbent on this commission to determine the public interest, which includes the utility, investors, customers, and the affected communities the utilities serve. We must be deliberate and diligent when applying relatively recent legislation permitting alternatives to poll-star cost of service principles, while nonetheless considering the legal rights of combined water and wastewater utilities to prudently avail themselves to the rate design tools established under Act 11. Further, we note the frequency of rate case filings. The Commission recently disposed of a base rate case filing by Pennsylvania American Water on December 8, 2022. Therein, we approved an overall annual water and wastewater increase in revenue of $138 million. This approval included a cross-subsidization of $26.9 million reallocated from wastewater rates into water rates, representing approximately 19% of the overall increase. We make these observations without prejudging the legal and substantive merits of these proceedings. We look forward to a robust discussion that considers affordable access to safe water and wastewater utility service. Such evidentiary and public input testimony should prove invaluable in assisting this commission toward an ultimate disposition of these proceedings, including the determination of the justice and reasonableness of the proposed rates. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Continuing at the bottom of page 19, it is recommended that the Commission adopt in an omnibus motion the remaining item on page 19, the application of Columbia Gas of Pennsylvania, and continuing the omnibus to include all three items on page 20, ending the omnibus with the petition filed by the Pennsylvania Electric Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 21 and matters presented by Chief Counsel Screven and the Law Bureau, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed order regarding the policy statement on public and private fire protection.
Is there a motion to adopt the proposed order?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Yanora, seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have a motion.
Commissioner Yanora.
I ask that my motion be entered into the record as if I read it in its entirety. I commend the Commission staff for their work on the final fire protection policy statement before us today. Policy statement ensures that the regulated fire protection services offered throughout the Commonwealth are safe, reasonable, and adequate. As a point of clarification, the Commission may consider a water utility's effort to meet the recommendations of the policy statement when determining just and reasonable rates for the water public utility. Therefore, I move that 1, the Law Bureau prepare a final policy statement, order, and annex consistent with this motion, and 2, that the Public Utility Commission adopt the final policy statement as set forth in Annex A to the order consistent with this motion. Thank you.
We've heard the motion by Commissioner Yanora. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Zerfus. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. On the matter as amended by the motion, is there any further discussion? I would like to commend Commissioner Yanora on finally bringing this home. I know it's been a long road. You've been working on this for several years now, and congratulations on bringing this to finality. Any further discussion? Is there any objection to taking the previous roll call? Hearing none, the matter passes as amended by the motion by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Continuing on page 21, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the proposed order in the petition for declaratory order filed by the Pennsylvania American Water Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the proposed order?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Yanora. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 22 and matters presented by Chief Administrative Law Judge Rainey and the Office of Administrative Law Judge, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the initial decision of ALJ Allensworth in the formal complaint of Robert and Tamara Stochel versus Aqua Pennsylvania Wastewater.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Yanora, seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Zerfus.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Secretary, I'd like to be recorded as concurrent result only, please.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a verbal statement.
Vice Chair Barrow.
This is really brief. I just want to ask the company and the advocates, the next opportunity they get, whether it's a rate case, to take a look at how rates are being set between water and wastewater. I don't know that they've hit the point where it's as accurate as it could be due to not metering the wastewater, but this complaint it does raise some concerns for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Barrow. I will point out we are on Stochel versus Aqua, the first matter on page 22. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0, noting Commissioner Zerfus concurring in result only. Madam Secretary.
Continuing on page 22, it is recommended that the Commission adopt the initial decision of ALJ Ashton in the formal complaint of Lynn Ray versus Aqua Pennsylvania Water.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Coleman, seconded by Commissioner Yenora. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a statement.
Vice Chair Barrow.
Please enter the statement into the record as though I read it in its entirety. This complainant alleges incorrect charges on her bill in addition to reliability and quality issues. She's been seeing inconsistent and extremely high meter readings for her water. And let's see, this occurred during June of 22 through February of 23. Her water usage went from an average of 3,000 to 4,000 gallons per month, which is normal, up to 55,800 gallons in July of 22 and 30,400 gallons in August of 22. Aqua's answer to the complaint averred that the bills are accurate based on actual meter readings and that the company removed the meter in August of 22 and that it tested at 99% accurate. The initial decision dismissed the complaint and noted that the complainant did not refute Aqua's casual statement that toilet leaks are the #1 cause of high bills, and that the broken toilet handle, which had never been repaired, was the cause of the high bills. I disagree with this decision. I understand that a test of a meter is a accurate test of a meter. Well, a meter test that comes back as accurate is a high hurdle to get over. But our case law does permit a complainant to refute an accurate meter test with other evidence. We've got the Waldron case law, we've got Milky, and the evidence here which caught my attention is that the toilet handle had been broken for 2.5 years prior to this complaint, this event, and had not been fixed. She only experienced 2 months of high bills. She also completed the toilet leak test as instructed by Aqua. And the leak test showed no leak, and she had a plumber visit the property, and that plumber did not find a toilet leak. Also, Aqua's own records prove, in my opinion, her claim that it wasn't the toilet, because on the days when she wasn't home, she was able to corroborate through Aqua's records, Christmas, Thanksgiving, there was 0 water usage. So there was not, the water wasn't running constantly. If the toilet handle was leaking and causing the high bills, her bill would have continued to reflect that abnormally high usage. Instead, the high bill issue completely resolved after Aqua removed that meter for testing. It was the meter. So a complaint proceeding uses a preponderance of the evidence standard, which is commonly explained as a slight tipping of the scale. Here, while Aqua's test of the meter showed 99% accuracy, the fact that the water usage returned to Mrs. Ray's average usage at 3,000 to 4,000 gallons after the meter was removed, coupled with the facts mentioned earlier, shows to me that the meter most likely caused these high bills. Accordingly, I disagree with the initial decision on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Barrow. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Zerfus.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to associate myself with the comments of Vice Chair Barrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, no.
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 The ayes have it by a vote of 3 to 2, noting the dissents of Vice Chair Barrow and Commissioner Zerfus. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 23, it is recommended that the commission adopt the initial decision of ALJ Watson in the formal complaint of Lind Blymer versus Sunoco Pipeline LP.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Yanora. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a statement.
Vice Chair Barrow.
Please enter my statement into the record as though I read it in its entirety. This complainant lives in Carlisle, right down the road, and largely on her own, she hired an environmental engineering firm and presented evidence to the commission in the form of a formal complaint of a potential subsidence near the Regency South mobile home park where Sunoco's pipeline is located. Ms. Blymer's requested relief was only that an independent review of the alleged subsidence take place. I do support referring the information contained in the complaint to our Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement. The reporting and diligent observation of private citizens is an important tool in the Commission's oversight of utility facilities. I would ask our Bureau of Investigation and Enforcement to take an extra step, and that is to inform Ms. Blymer of the result of any formal investigation that results from her complaint, including if it decides that, based on its review, an investigation is not warranted. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Barrow. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5 to 0. Madam Secretary.
Finally, on page 23, it is recommended that the commission adopt the initial decision of ALJ Chiodo in the formal complaint of Joshua Robinson versus PP Electric Utilities.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Yanora, seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a statement.
Vice Chair Barrow.
Please enter my statement into the record as though I read it in its entirety. This complaint filed in May of 23 requested a payment arrangement that is more affordable and indicated that the complainant recently lost his job. The hearing convened as scheduled in July, and it appears from the hearing transcript, although it was a bit cryptic, that there may have been technical difficulties at some point during the hearing. But by 10 minutes after the scheduled time, the complainant wasn't present and the hearing proceeded in his absence. PPL moved to dismiss the complaint with prejudice for failure of the complainant to appear and prosecute his complaint. And that was granted by the ALJ. So even if the transcript's reference to technical difficulties was not of a serious nature, and I do not know, I am unable to discern from that this complainant has abused our administrative process. But because of that reference, I definitely want to be a bit more careful with this case. I don't see an abusive process. I don't see that this particular complainant habitually files complaints and then doesn't show up. So I do not believe he should be barred from refiling this matter if he chose to do so. I believe this should be a dismissal, but without prejudice. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Barrow. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, no.
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 The ayes have it by a vote of 3 to 2, noting the dissents of Vice Chair Barrow and Commissioner Zerfus. Madam Secretary.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes the regular agenda. Turning now to the carry-in. On page 1 of the carry-in agenda, it is recommended that by the Executive Director that the Commission ratify the appointment of Laura Moore to the permanent position of Director of the Bureau of Consumer Services.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Coleman, seconded by Commissioner Yanora. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I do have a statement.
Vice Chair Barrow.
Of course, I have to say something here. So Lori Moore has been with my office for just a few months now, and we will miss her dearly. And my loss is the Commission's gain. I believe she was made for this job, and I know she'll do a fantastic job for the Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Barrow. Any further discussion? I do have some comments here. I want to wish Lori congratulations and all the best. For those of you who did not know, Lori has recently moved up to Vice Chair Barrow's office, but prior to that, she served as a policy chief down at BCS, and I concur with the Vice Chair that this job is completely suited for her. Congratulations. I wish you all the best, Lori. And I also want to bring another matter up that I was remiss last meeting. We had another Bureau Director be hired, and that was Kim Hafner. Kim has served in the office of OSA, Office of Special Assistance, since 2018. She's been a Deputy Director there since 2018. Been with the Commission nearly 2 decades, and again, another perfect fit for someone coming in that position. OSA has been faced with numerous challenges in terms of staffing issues, and Kim has that bureau running very efficiently. And so thank you, Kim, and congratulations to you as well. I apologize for not making those comments last week. I wasn't really on my A game last meeting, but I felt like I brought it for the end of the year, right?
Yeah, you did good.
So with that, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 2 of the carry-in, it is recommended by the Office of Special Assistance that the Commission adopt the proposed opinion and order retaining jurisdiction in the petition for reconsideration filed in the formal complaint of Karen Fight and Hyginio Mendoza versus the Duquesne Light Company.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Yanora. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 3 of the carry-in, it is recommended by the Bureau of Technical Utility Services that the Commission adopt the proposed order regarding the 2024 price change opportunity filed by Verizon Pennsylvania, LLC.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Turning to page 4 of the carry-in, it is recommended by the Law Bureau that the Commission adopt the proposed order canceling the certificates of public convenience for the failure of various motor carriers to pay their assessments.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Zerfus, seconded by Commissioner Yanora. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes the carry-in agenda. Turning now to the supplemental carry-in. Mr. Chairman, on the supplemental carry-in agenda, this morning my office received an application for emergency temporary authority that must be acted upon at this public meeting before December 24th, 2023.
Madam Secretary, please present the matter to the Commission.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, it is recommended by the Law Bureau that the Commission grant emergency temporary authority to Mr. S. Claus to provide property transportation service between points within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania on the limited date of December 24th, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I have assigned this matter to Commissioner Zerfus, who will read the order. Commissioner Zerfus.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Madam Secretary. Please enter this item into the record as if I read it in its entirety. But this morning, an application was filed with the Secretary by Mr. S. Claus, I'll call him Mr. Claus, seeking authority to provide property transportation service between points in Pennsylvania on the limited date of December 24th, 2023. Mr. Claus indicates that at the North Pole, he and various workers, the elves, make and assemble millions of Christmas gifts for children. Mr. Claus then transports these gifts from the North Pole to children all over the world, including the children of Pennsylvania. The transportation occurs annually on the evening and night of December 24th. Mr. Claus provides this service utilizing a sleigh and numerous reindeer, the reindeer team under the vigilant guidance of the lead reindeer, whose name is Rudolph. Mr. Claus indicates that his reindeer team has an impeccable historical safety record. Furthermore, Mr. Claus points to his team's unblemished on-time delivery record. Additionally, Mr. Claus cites prior orders of this commission granting similar applications, resulting in countless children experiencing the awe and joy of Christmas and the holiday season. Mr. Claus provides this service free of charge, with the only compensation being the smiles and happiness occasioned by his goodwill. So therefore, I move that the Commission adopt the order and grant Mr. Claus emergency temporary authority. Thank you.
We've heard the motion to adopt the order by Commissioner Zerfus. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it by a vote of 5-0. Madam Secretary, the order was adopted by a vote of 5-0. You are directed to enter and issue the order immediately.
I will, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, that concludes all agenda items to be considered today, and so everyone can hear, Merry Christmas to all and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Before we adjourn today's meeting, I would like to take a moment to recognize the Commission's many accomplishments during the past year. This year, the PUC continued our mission of balancing the needs of consumers and utilities. Since the start of 2023, the Secretary's Bureau received and processed more than 27,000 filings, served approximately 11,500 documents, responded to more than 170 right-to-know requests, and converted approximately 9 million pages of historical documents to digital scans, making them available for public review. The PUC's Office of Administrative Law Judge presided over 620 evidentiary hearings and 32 public input hearings. In addition, 285 were resolved through mediation, and presiding officers rendered 349 written decisions. Throughout 2023, the PUC's Office of Special Assistance prepared 205 orders for Commission consideration of public meetings in proceedings involving consumers and regulated utilities. During this year, the Law Bureau regularly represented the Commission in an average of 45 open state and federal court appeals. 86% of the 35 proceedings that concluded with decisions resulting in the courts affirming the Commission's opinions or other positive outcomes in support of the Commission's position. The Commission, through its Offices of Communications and Competitive Market Oversight, created enhancements to the PAPowerswitch.com website by consolidating pages, streamlining information, and making the process to shop easier for the consumer. Every month in 2023 saw greater consumer participation in competitive markets, with more people shopping, totaling more than 1.5 million electric customers by year end, representing more than 64% of the total electricity load in Pennsylvania. Our PUC consumer education team planned this year's in-person Be Wise and Be Utility Wise conferences for human service professionals, which reached more than 600 participants. The PUC recognized Digital Connectivity and Lifeline Awareness Week to help income-eligible Pennsylvanians stay connected through the Lifeline and affordable connectivity programs. The PUC's Bureau of Consumer Services answered more than 140,000 calls and resolved more than 75,000 consumer inquiries and informal complaints. The PUC also facilitated a tabletop exercise for Grid X7, which is a national level exercise coordinated by the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, or NERC. The PUC Safety Division conducted more than 3,000 electric and pipeline safety field inspections. 30 electric and pipeline incident investigations were handled by the divisions. Also during 2023, 648 underground facility owners, excavators, and project owners were directed to attend Act 50 training related to the Pennsylvania one-call law, while the PUC's Damage Prevention Committee approved 3,158 violations related to 753 cases that were addressed during this year's 11 DPC meetings. The PUC's Motor Carrier Enforcement Division conducted 91 focus reviews on carriers, completed more than 2,250 federal new entrant safety audits, and more than 3,850 roadside inspections of commercial motor vehicles. Meanwhile, the PUC's Rail Safety Section conducted and submitted 1,250 Federal Railroad Administration, or FRA, inspections, and responded to 60 reported incidents involving a train and an automobile or pedestrian. The PUC collected and distributed more than $278 million this year through impact fees from natural gas producers, pushing the 11-year total to more than $2.5 billion. The PUC audits team released 30 reports covering 90 years of adjustment clauses and reviewed and approved approximately 352 adjustment clause filings. What a year it's been. We welcome a new chairman, a new commissioner, a new executive director, and 3 new bureau directors. On behalf of my fellow commissioners, I thank all PUC staff for their continued work, steadfastness, and expertise when it comes to ensuring safe and reliable utility service at reasonable rates, protecting the public interest, and educating consumers to make independent and informed utility choices. It takes dedication and hard work from all of you, and we are looking forward to what we can accomplish in the year to come. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to our sister state agencies, consumer advocates, industry stakeholders, and regulated utilities that we worked alongside with this past year. We wish you and yours a safe and joyous holiday and a new year. We look forward to seeing you all in 2024. And with that, if there is any objections, we will adjourn for the year. Any objections? We stand adjourned.